SlapViper.
In a cold world, we rely on slivers of light to guide us through and to give us hope. Wrestling is all about that emotional reaction, especially in the realm of a face or good guy. Wrestling has no shortage of faces with cathartic rises to the top, but there has probably been no other wrestler with a more unconventional yet satisfying rise to the top like today's topic, Maika. But before we can talk about the rise, we must talk about who Maika is. Maika is a Japanese professional wrestler currently signed to Stardom, where she is the current Arts of Stardom champion in her third reign and the current World of Stardom champion in her first reign. Alongside this, she is the co-leader with Mina Shirakawa of Empress Nexus Venus, or shortened EXV, where their logo looks like it's saying Inusi at first glance, so have fun getting that out of your head. She's also a former Goddess of Stardom champion with Himeka, future Stardom champion, and won the Arts titles 2 separate times with Donna Del Mondo. Before Maika wrestled in Stardom, she wrestled for JTO, but most of her career was spent in Stardom. She debuted in May of 2019, technically had her first Stardom branded match on the 14th of January 2020 against Utami Hayashishida for the Future of Stardom Championship in a losing effort, and I will definitely touch up more on that sapphic-coated rivalry later on. 9 days after that match, on January 19th, 2022, was the official in-ring debut of not only Maika, but the faction of Donna Del Mondo with Shuri, Julia, and Maika in a victorious effort against Tokyo Cyber Squad, feeling more of that rivalry with Hana Kimura and Julia. 5 months after the formation of Donna Del Mondo, Maika teamed with Himeka for the first time in a trios match, Himeka also being integral to the rise of Maika, and I will discuss more of their sapphic-coated team later on. Maika just seems very gay. Good for her, honestly. The beginning phases of the rise of Maika started in 2021. Maika challenged Utami for the World of Stardom Championship in a losing effort, but these two are far from over in their rivalry. Maika and Himeka then captured the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Championships, and what a great moment that was. They then defended against Oedo Tai and Cosmic Angels, and then lost the belt in 49 days to Shuri and Julia, which was the first of many heartbreaks for Maika fans. Made even sadder knowing that this is the only Goddess of Stardom Championship reign Maika and Himeka will ever have. Maika was able to bounce back, winning the Artist belts for a second time with Natsupoi and Himeka, then challenging Utami in another loss, but an incredible match. We then head to the year 2022, where the entire year seemed like a never-ending struggle for Maika, losing in the 5-star again, not being able to advance in the Cinderella tournament, losing in the Goddess Tag League, losing Goddess, Wonder, World, and Artists of Stardom title matches, and only seeming to catch a break when her and Himeka won number one contendership for the tag titles. Things seemingly looked up for Maika, and they were, just not in the way she was expecting. Maika also teamed with Hiroki Goto at the Stardom X New Japan crossover show, in what was the most funny yet meanest move of Bushiroad, to team the two people who could never win the big one together, which in response I gave Maika the nickname of Hiroki Goto. Maika, despite losing big matches throughout the entire year, was still seen as very favorable amongst fans who were still clamoring for that big singles run. In 2023, Maika, Lady C, and Himeka teamed up in the Triangle Derby in a losing effort, but Maika and Himeka still had the Tag Championship match to look forward to against Neo Stardom Army 7-Up, where Maika and Himeka sadly came up short. Things looking bleak for Maika only seemed to get worse as 6 days later, her tag partner Himeka announced her retirement. A moment no one could have predicted, and a moment that sent Maika over the edge. Maika started being way more aggressive in her matches, years of failing to win singles championships. Her other faction made Shuri and Julia getting their crowning achievements over her, and now her tag partner retiring, and now she's gonna have to be the one to put her down in a singles match. It's all getting to her. But around this time started a new chapter in Maika's story, and this chapter involves a violent woman who has been on hell and destruction. And this isn't Julia, but this is Suzu Suzuki. Suzu Suzuki and Maika began teaming a little around a month after Himeka's retirement. Already, both women just seemed like time bombs, ready to go off on one another, and it came to blows during the generational clash where Maika was the last person eliminated from her team, leading to Suzu Suzuki berating Maika and calling her a loser, a word that she has sadly become connected with. These two were at each other's throats since then, and it only got worse at the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix. Maika beating the likes of Mirai, Utami Hayashishita, and Azumi. Her last obstacle in the way was Suzu Suzuki for the right to challenge for the World Stardom Championship. But where Maika needed the win the most, Suzu Suzuki defeated Maika for the right to challenge Tam Nakano for the World of Stardom Championship. And not only was Maika sad, angry, and frustrated, fans were too. Most of them got quiet, not because they hated Suzu, but because Maika was the woman they all wanted to win. Maika stated she almost retired due to this loss, but Himeka and Megan Bayne were there to comfort her. Maika and Suzu, along with Megan Bayne, then teamed up for the Arts of Stardom Trios belt, but came up unsuccessful after Maika and Suzu Suzuki had a miscommunication, leading to Maika getting into a brawl with Suzu Suzuki and pushing Julia, which Maika and Suzu Suzuki have gotten into physical altercations in the past, but this felt personal. On the same show, Tam Nakano was injured during her match with Natsuko Tora, leading to Tam Nakano later vacating the World Stardom Championship belt, leading to a new opportunity for Maika. Maika and Suzu would go into the Goddess Tag League where Maika teamed with Megan Bayne and Suzu teamed with May Sierra. Both teams made it to the finals, but this time Maika was the one winning by pinning May Sierra. The Goddess Tag League win was a big one for Maika, finally able to win that tournament, but sadly wasn't able to win the tag belts as Poi and Sayori were forced to vacate the belts after Poi was injured, and Maika and Megan Bayne would lose to the returning duo of Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashishita. Before losing that match, Maika won a one-night tournament to see who would face Suzu Suzuki for the World of Stardom Championship belt by defeating Ami Saore and Momo Watanabe. Ame, even after losing to Maika, told Maika she wouldn't win that red belt and basically called her a loser. Julia, Maika's faction mate, seemingly sided with Suzu Suzuki, and Tam Nakano was talking about facing Suzu Suzuki for the championship when she came back from injury. Megan Bayne was also set to leave Japan by turn of next year, leaving Maika alone and angry. But Maika wasn't just alone and angry. She was alone and angry with nothing to lose. Both Suzu and Maika brawled for weeks leading up to their match, and it got nasty between the two. We finally reach Dream Queendom 2023, Maika versus Suzu Suzuki 2. Everyone was prepared for a Suzu Suzuki win. Most chatter online was set on Suzu Suzuki being the next top star in Stardom, especially with rumor of Julia leaving. Julia, Tam Nakano, and seemingly most wrestlers in the back were set on Suzu Suzuki winning. But with her back against the wall, years of failure, and being told she can't win the big one, her biggest friends leaving and betraying her, Maika proved everyone wrong and finally defeated Suzu Suzuki and won the World of Stardom Championship. The fans cheered and Maika was emotional, claiming this was the era of the Empress. Once backstage, Maika, giving her interview, shared a moment with an old friend as Himeka returned and showed up and embraced Maika for a job well done. This moment had me shed genuine tears. Anyone, and I mean anyone, who followed Maika's story knows how big this was for her. As of recording, Maika has started a new faction with Mina Shirakawa, Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Shina, defended against former rivals Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashishita, and also defended against her former tag partner Megan Bayne, and is set to defend against Momo Watanabe later this month. Maika is also a double champion after winning the Artists of Stardom tag belts with Mina Shirakawa and Shina. The story of Maika was filled with heartbreak and sadness. Someone who was seemingly never meant to become champion organically grew popular due to her charm and in-ring skill. We laughed, we cried, we cheered with Maika, and despite the rocky road and years of failure, in years of doubt, Maika finally reached the top of the wrestling world, and I am happy I got to share the story on how Maika finally took her throne and her unconventional path to the top. Thank you all so much for watching. Buy W and use SlapViperLLC at checkout for 10% off your W order. Donate to my coffee below if you want. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is Quincy of SlapViperLLC, and I'll talk to you all later. Take care.